welcome to my draft analysis for the King's Crown Draft League, run by Y'all the Great. I'm super terrible at DAs, but here we are. I have all of our friends at the bottom, but I'm gonna go through. They've all joined on our voice call. They're all muted. I'm going to talk for them, hence why though some are a little more upset than others. But yeah, so we got 11th out of 12th pick in our pool. So we had communication with Wheel. We played besties with Wheel. The 10th pick did actually end up with the combo I wanted, but I did get my secondary combo. How the draft works is you could get 1 platinum, and then 1 gold or 1 bronze, or 2 silver. And as 11th pick, I decided that 2 silver would have been the best. I could have done gold and a bronze, but I really wanted to try out my first pick, and I really enjoyed the combo of the silvers together. I think I got the best value. That being said, we started off with the lovely Magiona. Mag is a Pokemon I've never actually used in draft. I know it's very good, and I've lost to it a good few times. It has stored power and shift gear and training curse. I guess that's a lot. I technically did use Mag in this really weird draft, but I'm not counting that. That was whack, and it was like best of 3, so I'm not super counting that. But this is the first time using it in a proper draft league. Steel Fairy is amazing. It is a bit slow, with a nice and powerful 65 speed, but we have other speed to help with that. Most of this draft was built around Magiona, and there was a couple of times I almost added Cresselia or Mesprit for Healing Wish and an immunity for it, but they just didn't make it on the team due to budgeting and other typings I needed. But yeah, Mesprit. Not Mesprit, fuck. Magiona. I'm really excited to use her, and speaking of ground types, I figured the best way to deal with them was going to be our second silver in Chen Pao Wow. I adore Chen Pao Wow. I'm not the biggest Gen 9 enjoyer, like even as Scarlet and Violet, the meta, or even the gimmick. I'm not a Terra fan. I love, not the bikes, but like the Treasures of Ruin, the Loyal 3 with Patch, Terrapagos, Ogerpon. I think it's a super solid sub-legendary, words are hard, sub-legendary, like, pool, catalog, roster, fuck. And Chen Pao is fucking just the cutest little long kitty ever. Did you know that snow leopards can tuck their ears in to stay warm? Just the cutest little guys. But yeah. I really like Chen Pao. This is our fast mon. As we went slow, we went fast. We needed a way to deal with the grounds, and this is really the best way to do without getting a flying type. Well, I guess a grass probably would have been better, but I forgot. I forgot to get a grass until way later. Then there was a lot of picks. A lot of picks before we got to pick again. And I settled on Gliscor. I wanted to get a flying type, and I really needed a ground because this was round 3. The grounds were already running away, and I didn't want Donphan, and I really didn't want to low tier ground. I felt that I wanted something more substantial. This gives us a secondary Spiker, so now Mag can be more aggressive. Gliscor can counter for her and block Willows for Chen Pao, and Toxic, Chen Pao, T-Waves for Mag. And just really works as a ground entryway, because if the ground types come in, Gliscor is now able to knock them, or just Toxic them, or get up hazards of his own. I really love Gliscor. It is a bit predictable easily, and especially with the team here, we're a little quad weak on 2 of our mons, which isn't ideal, but Mag is such a good ice switch in, and Chien-Pao can also come in on an ice move. It does help us. There's also a fighting resist for, Megauna. It is for Megauna too, but she doesn't resist, but for Chien-Pao, wow. And these two are really the basis of the team. I really wanted to get gouging, but the budget didn't allow it. So I ended up going for Vaporeon as my round 4 pick. Because right before me, Alamomola went on wheel, and so for context, I think 8 out of 12 people in round 4 picked the Volkeywaddle. So I jumped on that quick. I could feel it after the Mola, right after me, Blastoids went, and it was just a whole thing. We all went for all Volkeywaddles. I don't have Terra on Vaporeon, which is unfortunate. It's such a good Terramon, but just the Water type and the Ice immunity with Wish is just so good here for this team. Protecting Gliscor from Water and Ice moves, being able to pass Wishes to Megauna, it's just really good. Mola would have been nice, but Mola wasn't an option. Mola Mag is ridiculous, but Mola Vaporeon is still very good on a smaller scale. But yeah, it's Vaporeon. I don't have a whole lot to say about her. A lot of picks went by, and I ended up getting my removal. The lovely Psych Lizard came home, helping fill out our speed tier because they were little. We had 265s, a 135, and a fake 95 because Gliscor is a little bit Gliscor. We ended up with a Psych Lizard, a Pokemon that I draft way too much, and it's just Twenty's nephew. It's got removal, it's got knockoff, it's got regen, it's got U-Turn. More reasons why I wish we got maybe a second regen mon, and like I said, Mola would really make this team just longevity amazing. I had picked up Talonflame as well on this wheel as secondary removal, but I did make some race changes that I'll go into later. But yeah, I went for removal on this wheel, and then we had a lot of picks, and I really wasn't comfortable with the direction of my team after this. So everything else was added either in Grace or changed with the new team plan in mind. Originally, the Terra Caps were going to be Gliscor and Cresselia, but as you see no Cresselia, and I didn't mention Terra on Gliscor, plans changed. I had originally wanted Gregory as well. Gouging Fire. But all of that really went out the window. I debated getting Terra Gengar for a bit, but something was still around on the board, but it would take up most of my Terra budget. And I did end up deciding to grab Terra Iron Moth. Amon I wanted to use a Terra. I quite like Iron Moth. Gave me a 110 to fill out that gap. It was just perfect. Moth completely changed the directory of this team. As before, it was very physical, really relying on Megauna, but with Moth, and especially giving her Terra, I have a lot more options to play with. It gives me speed, gives me a sweeper, gives me toxic, gives me T-spikes. So much better than anything Terra Gengar could have provided. Picking this up like round 9 or whatever, whenever I did, it was insane. It really gave me that new direction. Other than that, I was quite worried. I think with Terramoth, Chien-Pao, and Megauna, I should have enough waiting power. And to help with that, Amon, I've been really wanting to try out, and I unfortunately can't Terra. If I could Terra his effectiveness would skyrocket, but that is Gallade. I ended up changing out not having a Psychic because of no Crest or a Lake Guardian, and I really quite wanted a Rock Resist, and that's just a secondary rifle, and Glade Shot is that. As long as you get the agility up, he's very effective at what he does. Let alone a double dance or just running Scarf. He has really good coverage, priority, I think on both sides of the spectrum. But Special Glade, I don't know. I'm just kind of curious. Let me go look at Glade's special attack. Yeah, it's 65, so, you know, we're never going to do that, but, I've never used Glade. I thought he was cool when I was a kid. I like the whole God of War line. I like the Knight and the Prince. Fuck. The Princess and the Knight whole thing. But yeah, Glade also gave us a very much needed 80 speed, as I didn't really have anything between my Fast Mons and my Snow Mons at the time, so Glade really helped with that. I know saying, oh, Glade's defensively is going to be cool. He only has 65 BizDef, but his SpDef is helpful for Power Gems, and still just A and E Rock Resist is helpful. He's excited to show up. I'm excited for him to show up. I do think it's funny that both of my Pokemon's fighting move is Sacred Sword. So that left me with no second Tailor Cap. Which is fine, Martha's good enough to justify that, but I did have a solution. That solution was Bramblegast. Finally, off Fighting Resist and a Ground Resist. Fighting Immunity Ground Resist with a second Spinal, so Copilot, the Cyclosaur is as dependent on it. Another Spike-Roll, in case Grisco wants to be offensive. Strength Sap, and just, I really like Bramblegast. One, I think, of the better low tier Gen 9 Mons. And it hits hard. 115 with Poltergeist and Power Whip is no slouch. Is it my preferred second Tailor Cap? No. But it does help its breaking power, and just, it has to be at least respected. Because it does give it more coverage, because a big downside of Bramblegast is that it just has Ghost and Grass moves. Which is not a bad typing, it's just very predictable. But it has almost everyone it wants. It has Shadow Sneak, it has Power Whip, it has Strength Sap, Poltergeist. I wish it had Horn Leech, but not everybody can be overwhelmed. And finally, as a bit of fake speed, I have Jolteon. I want an electric type, and I wanted a little bit more speed in between Chien-Pao, just to really just fill out my speed. 135, 130, 121, 110, 95, 90, 80, 65. Even without Terra, I did get things like a Lowing Voice in this generation, and just having a strong electric type to deal with bulky Waddles for my Steel, and my Fire, and my Ice is nice. But that's the team. It's not the most luxurious, especially in Nobles, when they have stuff like Mewtwo and Hello running around, and I have a Maid Robot and a Long Kitty. But I quite like them. The people here are very strong, and I definitely feel I'm a little out of my depths. That being said, thank you for inviting me. It means the world to me. We'll see if this team can rise to the challenge, or if they will just be another example of the mid-Vendrils. I've been Maki. I hope you enjoyed our DA, and I'll see you guys for week 1. Bye!